Hello, my name is TurkiBhaijaan, and today I bring you a real horror story from a village near Dehradun in India.
This is the story of a girl named Anjali who unknowingly made a mistake. One that she has been paying for even after 20 years.
Back when Anjali was in 10th grade, she lived in a small village near Dehradun, in a colony located beside a hill. Her close friend Aradhana lived nearby, and they used to go to school together every day. To reach school, they had to go down a hill beside which a river flowed. There were two paths. One was steep and led directly to school, and the other passed through the market.
One day, Aradhana didn't go to school, so Anjali had to return alone. As usual, she came down the steep slope, walking her bicycle.
Suddenly, Aradhana noticed something terrifying. Behind Anjali, a shadowy figure of a woman began to form. When she looked closely, she saw that the woman's entire body was burned. Her skin had melted and stuck to her charred clothes. It was a horrifying sight. Anjali didn't understand what was happening. Without thinking, she called out to her friend Aradhana. It is often said, if a spirit is behind you, you should never look back. But Aradhana turned around. She saw nothing. However, Anjali could still see that burned woman standing there. Suddenly, the woman jerked her head and looked directly at Anjali. Terrified, Anjali dropped her bicycle. Before she could react, the entity appeared right behind her. As Anjali tried to escape, the spirit grabbed her legs, lifted her into the air, and slammed her on the ground. Anjali gathered courage and tried to escape again, but once again she was dragged back, lifted, and thrown violently to the ground. Aradhana was watching all of this, but to her it looked like Anjali was being pulled by an invisible force, dragging herself back and being thrown into the air. Panicking, Aradhana started screaming for help. Since Anjali's house was nearby, her father rushed outside. When he arrived, he saw the same thing, Anjali trying to run and something unseen dragging her back and throwing her down. Anjali's head was bleeding heavily and her face was badly injured. Unable to bear it, her father ran to Anjali, grabbed her hand and pulled her away as if freeing her from something, and brought her inside the house. First, Anjali was taken to a doctor for treatment. After that, she was taken to a tantric, a spiritual healer. The healer and the locals revealed something shocking. That burned woman used to live nearby with her son and daughter-in-law. One day, a sudden fire broke out in her house and she was burned alive. It was believed that Anjali might have unknowingly disturbed or called out to that spirit, which is why it attacked her. Even after returning home, the spirit did not leave Anjali. The tantric gave her a protective amulet and she was brought back home. For nearly 1 year, that spirit kept haunting Anjali. Every night, when Anjali went to sleep, she would see that burned woman standing near her bed. Maybe because of the amulet, the spirit could not harm her anymore, but it never stopped appearing. In those days, houses often had iron grills above the main hall area. Whenever Anjali slept under that grill, she would see that same burned woman clinging to the grill, staring down at her. For 1 entire year, that spirit tortured Anjali, and then, suddenly, it disappeared. After that, Anjali never saw it again.
But even today, 20 years later, Anjali's immune system remains weak and she often falls sick. The most disturbing question is, if that spirit haunted Anjali for a year, why did it suddenly stop? Did it find peace? Or is it still somewhere around her? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening to this story. Before this video ends, I want to ask you something. For future long horror stories on Creepyverse, would you rather watch podcast-style videos with my live narrator face and real storytelling expressions? Or fully animated horror stories with cinematic visuals and voiceover narration? Let me know your choice in the comments. because your feedback will decide the future style of this channel.
If you enjoyed this horror story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Creepyverse for more terrifying real horror content.
And make sure to leave a comment below, because your support and feedback truly help this channel grow.